Hey, a fantasy anime that isn't isekai. And like all fantasy anime, they don't really have white people names. I mean, Carrot is a Zambian name more than anything.
Zambia, people give their names, like their children, they give their children names of everyday English words, anything. So like table, chair, car, house.
What happens in the anime? A small town princess bored with living in her small town leaves with a warrior who saves her village with the mysterious peach eye. The princess learns about the world and stuff on the journey. The manga is written by the Big Titted Dragon guy. But he didn't do the character design, so no Big Titted. To be honest, Peach Boy sounds like a mean-spirited nickname a bully gives to the obviously gay kid. Kazuya, who is a realist, not the realist. He is a realist who is transported to another world by a truck hitting him. I hope. We haven't seen Truck-kun in a while. Actually, it's not specified that Truck-kun did his thing. He is just transported to another world unexpectedly, and becomes king. You know, isekai crap, but he them saves the kingdom by administrative reform. He wants to rebuild the economy using administrative reform. So is he going to close the gender wage gap, tax the rich, defund the police, socialize medicine? I don't know, I haven't watched it, but I will. Remain centers on Minato, a boy who quit playing water polo after an incident during the winter of his third year of junior high school. You know, sports anime shit. After entering high school, he makes a promise and decides to try water polo again and join the school's team with his friends. You know, sports anime shit. However, the new team will run into problems along the way. Again, sports anime shit. Anime about handsome anime boys, directed by a handsome dude. Remain is a sports anime that actually has a black guy, a handsome black guy, not a dumb dude that only plays basketball because he's tall, but a cool black guy. 2021 is a breakout year for black anime characters. Let me move on before the comments section gets sucky. Wait, I don't get comments. Our protagonist finally gets with his longtime crush and longtime friend. He is in love, right? What do you think he does when Nagisa, whoever that might be, tries to get with him? What does the protagonist do? He gets permission to two-time. The main chick has daddy issues or a low self-esteem to let that happen. Or maybe she realizes that the protagonist belongs to the streets. You know, the first chapter of the manga came out in March 2020, 6 months later the anime is announced. This is either rushed or it's very awesome, take your bet. Being born under a blue moon. So even vampires who follow horoscopes are annoying. The name of that vampire was Vanita, so is the name of the vampire doctor that our protagonist meets in search of the Book of Vanita. The doctor also inherited the book. But behind the doctor's kind demeanor lies something more sinister. He's racist. I'm joking. It's just a joke. Here is a isekai, but this time only his conscience gets isekai'd, so he replaced a kid's conscience. A kid who actually saw his mother get killed. Sucks for that kid, he's having a tough week. Our protag wakes a special power, you know, isekai shit. Then gets into the Royal Academy, more isekai shit, but since he isn't a noble they don't like him. Isekai shit. Anime about drama. Red Flower Opera Company attracts people's hearts across generations on a beautiful and gorgeous stage created only by unmarried women. I don't know why the women have to be unmarried. Traditions, I guess. Anime about theater for some reason or the other end up being good. Why? Theater kids suck. Unless they like, subscribe and comment below. I got bored reading the synopsis of this anime, so I'm just gonna read it as is. Solar calendar year 2020, grotesque organisms called others have begun eating people. To take down this new enemy, The other suppression force is formed. Saved by this elite team as a child, Psychokinetic Yuito withstands the training to enlist. On the other hand, prodigy Kazan was scouted for her abilities. But Kazan's dreams tell her strange things, dragging the two into an unavoidable fate. The manga is centered around an older woman who is often mistaken as a man by her cats. It's one of those 5-minute partially animated shows. Is that Yuri I see? I sure hope that's Yuri I see, or I might do something I will regret. When an 18-year-old high school girl working in an aquarium meets a former idol who lost her place in Tokyo and escaped. Come on, a sad long-haired brunette and cheerful short-haired lady is prime Yuri. There better bait us. I still have sound euphonium flashbacks. I expect the brunette to be like,
I am a coward and weak.
Then the short-haired girl to be like,
No, don't bad talk the person I love.
Then they hug and a baby is born. Well, that's what I hope happens, but I do see that there will be a male in this anime. He better not be romancing anywhere near here. The sad long-haired brunette and the short-haired girl are trying to save the aquarium. This smells like potential. The Duke is cursed with killing everything he touches and is run out of his family. He left with his entire squad, his maid, and butler. It's a highly rated manga, so the anime might be dope. The detective is already dead. That title needs to come with a spoiler alert. You know when a synopsis is basically a summary of the first episode? Yeah, this is that. Here goes. Kimizukar is a crisis magnet. He gets in trouble all the time. He finds himself in a crime scene, and witnesses a drug deal. I hope he isn't a snitch. His flight is in a state of emergency and in need of a detective. This guy is like Jonah from the Bible, and they need to throw him out of the airplane like they threw Jonah out of the ship. A girl with silver hair, her name Siesta, declares herself as a detective, and she makes Kimizukar her assistant. This begins an epic journey around the world where they take down crime organizations, prevent disasters, and save thousands of lives. But 3 years later she dies, hence the detective is already dead title. Kimizukar decides to live his normal high school life. So how old was he when he was taking down crime organizations and saving thousands of lives? He then meets a girl who looks like Siesta, and she drags him along as she goes on adventures. But why does a plane need a detective? She isn't a child but a demon who had lived for hundreds of years. You know they will say that. Yai is a second in command in the demon realm but is reversed isekai'd into earth and has to do normal human things. But she won't be discouraged anymore as she tries to make it back to the demon realm. When Ryuhei Oda was in elementary school, he admired his kind older brother. Ryuhei, who witnessed the mysterious death of his brother, is now a cheerful high schooler who doesn't let the lurking nightmare surrounding faze him. One day, while kickboxing, he's bitten by a mysterious creature named Tries and has an unusual dream. He confronts his twisted desires as rumored drops fly through the streets. What does he see beyond that? This seems interesting enough, but there isn't much to go on. Except that the opening song is made by Tokyo Accident. If you don't know who Shina Ringo is, then get yourself acquainted. Her band is reason enough to get excited. Hype 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 hype. I am calling it now, this is the anime of the season. I don't even need to say what it's about, just the names of the people involved will get you hyped. Animation of from Studio Mappa, they made Jujutsu Kaisen. Character design from Cool Cow Shinja, he draws big-titted dragons and lowly dragons from Dragon Maid. The story is from Amahara, he writes almost hentai, You know, interspecies reviewers right. Hype much. This however isn't big-titted dragons and almost hentai, it's shounen. Deities fight battle royale style in this anime. 800 years ago the demons lost the battle of the gods to the gods. This brought about a peaceful era, as the demons were contained, which is another word for sealed. We all know like milk anime demons come sealed. But these demons are no longer contained, they are escaping. It's up to the new younger gods who have never fought for anything because they get participation trophies and eat avocado toast. It's their time to emulate the greatest generation and fight the demons. After game developer Hashiba's company goes bankrupt, he moves to his hometown. As regret fills his mind, he wakes to find himself 10 years in the past right before he joins college. At least he didn't go back to high school. The writer is of significance as he is a scenario writer and the main writer for the visual novel Ao Kana. It was good. A 12-year-old boy gets rescued by a kind Onair-sama and lives in an all-girls dormitory. It's pedophilia-flavored ecchi harem. I mean, if the roles were reversed, this anime wouldn't see the light of day. A 12-year-old girl getting in ecchi situations with college-age men. I don't know if it's double standards or men fetishize anything. Or maybe it's both. You know what gets me excited? This man right here. Why does this man with resting blank face get me excited? Because One Punch Man. Sunny Boy is directed by this guy right here. Look at this animation, I am about to orgasm. But before I do, the synopsis. Empty classrooms, boring days. It was supposed to be a normal summer vacation just like any other. Suddenly, the school begins to drift through another dimension, and 36 boys and girls are left there awakening to their supernatural abilities. Amidst the whirlpool of questions that come to mind one after another, survival in a supernatural world begins. So 3D. Yay. A pair of brothers are hunting another pair of brothers. One pair of supernatural brothers escaped a science facility, the other pair is chasing them down. It's that simple. Also, Nighthead sounds a little incestuous. Like, hey little bro, want some Nighthead? Dragged into a battlefield by a mysterious girl who calls herself Mayan. The participants are told that they are erased from the family register, involved in an experiment, and gain certain powers. Akira is determined to win the game with his newfound powers and destroy the organization. Armed with a power no one expects and his brain skills. Brain is in quotation marks as if to imply something else. Like the kid is good at giving brain. Isekai, but he runs a drugstore. Isekai, but is reincarnated as a minor. That sounds funny though. Isekai, but the goddess says he has an ugly face and stripped him of his title. The synopsis actually says the curtain rises on the alternate world social reform fantasy of a boy forsaken by gods and humans. So is he fighting against pretty privilege?